I'm Martin White. We're going to install TechIDAgent for a domain controller to make unique accounts with TechIDManager. These instructions and discussion assume that you have TechIDManager set up and working, you have the TechID portal all set up and configured, and you have technicians installed. This is just going to talk about specifically installing the TechIDAgent for Windows on a domain controller to make unique accounts on a domain. The instructions for this are under Partner Resources and Installation Instructions on TechIDManager.com. This is section 4.1, TechIDAgent Windows on Domain Controller for creating unique accounts. We're going to talk about these instructions manually, and we're going to go through all the steps that happen in order to make this happen. But because we understand how important automation is for MSPs, we provide example PowerShell scripts with every release that will do all of these steps automatically. We provide full source for this, and these are signed PowerShell scripts that you can use, modify and use to do this installation en masse quickly. You only put one TechIDAgent, you put the TechIDAgent on one domain controller per domain. If you put it on multiple, they'll fight. Nobody likes that. Like I said, we're going to cover this. If you have any questions or you want us to do it with us, we do this with you. We do offer a white glove installation, and you can simply use this book installation assistance link and pick a time, and we'll come happy to get on a call with you and help and do everything with you. The instructions, broad level, we're going to download the release, extract it on the domain controller, open an administrative command prompt, and type some command line stuff and do it. Everything is command line accessible, so it's easy to script in any RMM. So let's go through the steps in specific detail. We're going to download the latest TechIDAgent Windows release from TechIDManager.com/releases. So here's the releases page. We want the TechIDAgent for Windows. Currently version is 6.1.2.0. In there, we'll see that there's a list of changes for this release. Right below that is always a download link. That is what you want to download. There are also installation scripts, example installation scripts for both unique user and shared user setup, and a PowerShell script that will update the whatever version you have installed to version 6.1.2.0. So we take that, we downloaded it. I downloaded it to here. TechIDAgent.windows.6.120.zip. We want to copy that to domain controller, which I have done. We're going to unzip that into a directory. We suggest 𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗄 Ruffian software. So I'm going to extract that to a directory, TechIDAgent Windows 6.2.0. I'm going to copy that, make a directory in program files. Ruffian software. Put that in here. Now we open an administrative command prompt on the machine we're installing it on. Here's my administrative command prompt. Change into that directory where the zip file was unzipped. So we're going to change into program files, Ruffian software, TechIDAgent Windows 6.1.2.0. Now we run some command lines to tell it to install itself, set our client GUID, and other options that we want to set. There are lots of options you can set. Here's kind of a example basic set of them. So TechIDAgent.exe install does the install. The next one I run is TechIDAgent.exe client GUID, your client ID. Replace your client ID with the actual GUID that you have been given as your part of TechIDManager. Next, we want to set the OU. Since it's a domain controller, most people want to put the accounts made automatically by TechIDManager in a specific OU. Easiest way to see the format of that command is if we click on this link and then look at this picture. OU command martinit.admin users will create an OU named martinit, and then one under that called admin users because of the dot in the middle of them. I think that CN equals syntax is highly confusing, so we use a much simpler syntax. So TechIDAgent.exe OU martinit.admin users. That set it, uploaded the option to the portal. Now, the next option is the friendly name. Friendly name and RMM name are both two strings that can be set to anything you want. TechIDManager doesn't use, interpret, deal with these strings. They simply show up inside the tech client in the column named friendly name and RMM name. You can set them to whatever else. Like this one is set to something else. This one is set to 𝗁𝗶𝗿_host. Those are used for the searching in both when you type a search and when you click search windows. And they're also used to let people know if you have a bunch of machines all with the same name. You can use the friendly name and RMM name to distinguish those, make them easier for your technicians to find. So we're going to set the friendly name. So we're going to set the friendly name to this, just a searchable string. We're going to set it to, oh, this is a DC at John's Body Shop. We uploaded that. The next is the RMM name. This is a second string that you can set to be whatever information you want. We'll set it to second searchable string. Sounds like a great option to me. There are a bunch of other options that you can set. You can see the full command line description of all the TechIDAgent command line options by clicking the see other options here. Scroll down. There are a bunch of other options. Starting, stopping, installing, help. If you want to set these as just-in-time accounts, this is where you do that. Just set them as just-in-time. If you want them to be managed, which is the opposite of just-in-time, to managed. If you want to automatically tell this agent to be on a leaf, you can put in a leaf. Same thing with an agent group. If you want to tell it to automatically join a specific agent group that you already have set up. If you have an alternate UPN suffix that you want to use, you can tell it to do that. You can set the displayed name for the accounts, the username formatting for the accounts, phone number, email, lots of options. Some more obscure stuff, like if you want to set the MSDS supported encryption types, we can set that to any value you want. Whole bunch of options there. If you want to force it to use random passwords or a word list of passwords, you can set the password length specific, number of words. If you want a guaranteed right, like these particular accounts are always members of this particular AD group, you can set that, whether they're enabled or disabled with just-in-time access. You can also set the second factor value for a particular technician if you are trying to do a Duo or other MFA provider TOTP-based integration. I'm not going to set any of those, so the next thing we're going to do is actually start the agent with TechIDAgent.exe space start. This is the same as net start TechIDAgent. This is a service, a Windows service, runs, can be monitored, all that kind of same stuff. So that takes us to the end of the instructions. If you have any question, now that agent has shown up in our portal. We can put it in different agent groups that we want. We can deal with it. We can set options directly from the portal now. If you have any questions or need any more explanation, ask support at TechIDManager.com or book some installation assistance. We'll be happy to help. Have a great day.